I'm Vanessa. Lovely to meet you at last. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh, sweetheart.
Been better.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, look, I didn't get to talk to you on the phone or anything like that, like I normally do as a client, because you're obviously in therapy. But before we get into it, I'd love to just go through sort of what to expect with counselling. Have you been to a counselling service before?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, look, this would be great to go through this a little bit, and I'm sure your social worker has told you a little bit, but I want to go through this stuff just so that you know sort of what to expect. Now, at the end of this, at the end of the counselling session, I'll get you to sign it, and I'll sign as well. I'll give you a copy just so that you know what we're going to do here and what to expect. So, in terms of what we talk about here and what you say here, it is confidential. I'm not going to hand it out to other people. But the only times I do have to talk to the relevant people might be if you say that you're going to hurt yourself, or if you say you're going to hurt someone else, or you're going to commit a crime. And obviously, we're about protecting people as well. And if you want to hurt yourself, then we want to get you the help that you need to protect you. If someone else might be injured or a crime might be committed, I need to just talk to police just to keep people safe.
I get it. But yeah, as you can see, I'm hurt enough as it is. I don't want to hurt myself.
No. Well, look, if a court does contact me and say, for a case, they need the notes, then I'm also obliged to give them that information, which I understand you've been through some court systems as well, so you understand what happens with that a little bit. If I feel, and we talk about it, and you feel like a referral is in order, another referral to another organisation to just add to your support, then I'll talk with you about that, and we'll work that out, and I'll get your permission. Now, normally the service is open from 8 till 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. We are closed on Sundays, and we either have sessions for a half hour or an hour. So today we're going to do a half-hour session. Is this time normally okay for you?
This is good.
Okay, excellent. Did you have any trouble getting here?
No, I didn't. Okay. My mum dropped me off, as you can see. I'm not in a state to drive at the moment, but my mum dropped me off, and having a lift in the building was good.
Yes, that is good. I really like that lift. Oh, it's great that your mum can drop you off. Fantastic. With the interventions that we do here and the therapies that we use, cognitive behavioural therapy, person-centred, which is what we'll be focusing on today, narrative therapy, we also do solution-focused therapy, and acceptance commitment therapy, that we'll be focusing on person-centred. Now, if you have any questions about that, please do ask, because I know, first session can be a bit weird coming to a counselling centre.
No problem.
Now, in regards to your records, we keep those for 7 years, but we keep them very safe. They're all locked up. It's not like someone can come and look at them. Of course, unless, like I was saying about the confidentiality. So we do keep that all safe. You can have a look at those at any time you want. You just need to let us know, and we can organise that. Now, I don't know if you have our email or our contact details.
Yeah.
You do? Oh, excellent. Well, look, I'll give you an extra card at the end just to make sure that you've got that, and we've got a little magnet that can go up on your fridge as well. So it's a lot easier to keep that in the fridge than lose it sometimes. If you feel like you can't make a session, if you can, let us know 2 days beforehand. It just means if someone else is on a waiting list, we can squeeze them in if we need to. And of course, our disability access, you saw the lift and everything like that. If you feel there's you have any needs in regards to you're stuck in a wheelchair, or if you're having problems with reading information, please let me know.
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm not disabled that way. I've just been get through a rough time.
Yeah. And while you're healing from that, we want to make sure that you're comfortable and you can get to everywhere you need to in the building. If you have trouble understanding English. I know some people that's not their first language. We can get someone to come in.
No problem.
Okay, so for this counselling service and for my time with you, I make a commitment that I will treat you with respect, that you will receive competent and professional service, that you will receive a clear explanation of the counselling service that will be provided, that your consent for any service will be sought by the counsel, that's me, prior to the service commencing and during the service when necessary. You will receive an explanation about the nature and limits of confidentiality surrounding the service. You will be clear about the goals that you are and the counsellor are working towards. You will receive an explanation about additional support services and a referral process if necessary. You have the right to request a particular gender of counsellor for your services. You have the right to terminate at any time. You will receive a service free from sexual harassment. You will be shown respect for your cultural background and language traditions. You will be provided with a translator when necessary or referred to an appropriate service. And you will receive disability support when necessary or referred to an appropriate service. I know that's an awful lot to go through, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions from
me? No, I just want to get on with the session.
Okay. That's very
fine for you.
So tell me about what's happened to you.
Yeah, well, you know, I love my partner, but, you know, he's got a bit of a temper. He goes out drinking and, you know, he comes back and, you know, I haven't cooked for him and he'll fling a plate around and he'll slam doors and he'll scream and shout at me, but he's never been violent to me. But a couple of days ago, he came home, something had happened at work, and he was just looking to pick a fight, and yeah, I was it. And so, as you can see, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm all bruised, you know, I had to get out of there. I'm staying with Mum at the moment, you know, but I'm afraid that you know he's gonna come over there and starting stuff there, you know, and you know the police are involved, and so we have the AVO, and so he's not allowed to come within 150 yards of me or the kids at the moment, but he keeps phoning me up and threatening me and saying that he's going to come over, and you know, he's not usually, well, I know he's got a temper, and like I said, he's not usually like this, but you know, I love him and I want him to change, but this isn't good, you know. I can't be dealing with this, and I'm not going home until something changes.
You said that he's been calling.
Yeah, he's been calling on the phone saying that he loves me and he's sorry, and you know, he wishes that he hadn't done those kind of things, and I've been sort of saying, no, it's out of my hands now, you know, you need to get help. And he says, I don't, it was just a one-off thing, but you know, like I said, it's been building up to this. You know, he's been losing his temper and it's been getting worse and worse and worse, and now he's put me in a wheelchair, and you know, I love him, but until he gets help, then I really don't want to see him. Yeah. And I'm looking at getting the phone calls thing into the AVO that wasn't in the AVO, because he's phoning me 6 and 7 times a day asking me where I am, and I'm up and telling him, and he says a bit, you're at your mum's and I'm coming over there. But at the moment he hasn't, because he knows if he breaks that AVO then he's in more trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's great that you're thinking about getting that put into the AVO, especially if it's distressing you like that, to have those calls from him. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's because he's all apologetic and you know he's never going to do it again, but he doesn't seem to be acknowledging that what he'd done was wrong. He said he's sorry, and then the next words, you know, but you shouldn't have done that, you know, and so it's like, I'm not even sure what I did, you know, and so I'm just, you know, like I said, I love him dearly, but, you know, my mum nearly had a heart attack when they wheeled me into the hospital, and you know, it's gonna take 3 or 4 weeks for me to recover, you know, and like, I've got kids to look after, and you know, the kids were petrified as he was, you know, it's just terrible.
Oh, so were they actually there when that happened?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, they were in bed sleeping,
Yeah.
but they just, you know, they had me screaming, obviously, because I'm getting punched and kicked, and you know, they poked their head out of the door, and I'm like, no, I'm like telling them to get back in.
Yeah.
You know, as Dad's kicking me in the stomach, you know, and so, you know, it's just, you know, it's not a place for the kids to be, and I don't want him again to have the kids until he's actually seriously dealt with this, and not just kind of brushed it off and said, oh, it was just a little mistake, this isn't a mistake, you know.
Yeah. So you're concerned for your kids if he has contact with them?
Oh yeah, is he gonna do the same thing to them? Is he, because I don't want to see him, is he gonna take it out on the kids? Is he gonna make it hard for them? You know, is he gonna hit them? He says he wouldn't, but I didn't think he'd ever hit me. So just, you know, I just need time away. Hopefully this time away will make him realise what he's done, and actually us being away from him might give him a chance to clear his head and get the help that it looks like he needs. Like I said, he's always had a bit of a temper, but he's never hit me. But now I'm just, you know, I look at him and go, is this what it's going to be like now? You know, because I read all the stories about these women getting beaten up, and you know, it starts with I'm sorry, and then they just keep doing it. You know, that's what I've been hearing in all these kind of support groups that I've been going to since it happened. All these women, you know, saying exactly the same as me. I love him. I want him to change, but he just keeps hitting me.
Yeah. So you're hoping that having that time away from him, he's actually going to start thinking about the consequence of his temper and the way that he attacked you and hurt you, and how that just wasn't the right thing to do, and that he might change because of that distance. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
You know, he's kidding himself if I'm gonna just welcome him back with open arms.
Yeah.
You know, the kids. When I mention Dad now, they take a step back. You know.
Well, I guess it's understandable that if they saw you being hurt by him, that they'd have some sort of reaction. Yeah. So what sort of reaction do you feel they've had?
Like I said, when I mention, you know, we're going to take a little break from Dad Day, like that's good. You know, I don't like him hitting you. You know, they shake a bit and go, and I think they'll remember what happened that night. And I'm there sort of telling them to close the door without Dad seeing them, because if he'd seen them, I was scared that he was going to go in there and beat them up as well. You know, he's put me in hospital. It wouldn't take much to do damage to the kids. But at the back, but again, I've got this conflict at the back of my head. You know, I love him, and you know, I want him to change, but he's not looking at changing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, so you're actually concerned that the kids are remembering what happened and reliving that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's really cool.
I just don't know what to do. You know, one hand wants, you know, me just to get a time machine and go back and like none of this happened, but the other hand, you know, I was a fool. I could see this is where things were leading, to. And he just, you know, he doesn't, I don't think he deserves to see the kids at the moment until he works on his own stuff. It's not safe for them.
So you with that time machine thing you were saying, do you mean that you wish you could pretend that it never happened? That you
I just wish it never happened. That it never happened at all. Then I wouldn't have to deal with it, but it's happened, and so I have to deal with it.
Yeah. So how are you going with that? Weighing these things up?
Like I said, half of me wants to welcome him back, and the other half of me is petrified that it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again if he doesn't deal with it. This isn't my fault. I didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. For him to say sorry, but you shouldn't have done this. It's like he's trying to blame me. It's making me think there's something wrong with me.
Oh wow! So this has made you wonder what's wrong with me? Is that what you're saying?
It is, because he's gone. You should have done this. You should have done that, and I'm going, no, what? I'm not a mind reader. It's like I've deserved it, but I know that's not true. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, why does he say that if I hadn't done the dishes, does that mean that I deserve to get beaten up? It's just.
And what do you think? Do you think that not doing the dishes deserves being beaten up?
Of course not. But then there's still that. He's my husband, and I listen to him, and it's like. Maybe he's got a point. It's not good. And then straight away when I think of that, I go, that's a lot of rubbish, and I don't deserve. But it's still there in the back of my head. Did I do something to trigger him? I know what he's like. I know that he likes his things in a certain way, and because I haven't done that, then he's got angry about that, and I'm meant to be a good wife and meet his needs and make sure he gets what he wants. That's what wives do. They look after their husbands, and obviously I'm not looking after him well enough.
Do you think that not doing dishes means that you're not being a good wife, or that you deserve to be hit?
I really don't know. Like I said, part of me dismisses it straight away, but then there's this little voice in the back of my head saying, if I'd done the dishes, this wouldn't happen. Maybe I should have just done the dishes. But, the kids were acting up, and, it took me ages to get them down, and I was just about to start the dishes when he came home, and it's like, you haven't done the dishes, the dishes need to be done, I'm just thinking if I'd done those dishes, this wouldn't have happened, so maybe it was my fault.
And do you think that if you had done the dishes and it was all okay that night, that it would never have happened, that he would never have ever hit you again?
Well, he's never hit me before. Like I said, he's been angry and he's smashed stuff and he's slammed doors and he's yelled at me, but he's never hit me. And so, maybe if I had done the dishes, I wouldn't be in the wheelchair.
And have you not done the dishes before?
I can't remember really. I'm usually quite routine, but like I said, the kids were really unsettled and never get a chance to do them, and I was just starting them as he came home, and he's like, the dishes need to be done before now. I'm just thinking, if I'd just done them, this wouldn't have happened.
And if you hadn't he hadn't attacked you, do you think that being shouted at and having doors slammed and having things thrown around, do you think that that's something that you want to be treated like as a wife, and that you want your children to see? Is that something that you are happy with in a relationship?
Not really, but it's better than being punched and kicked and ending up in a wheelchair. You know, it's the lesser of two evils.
Oh, it's interesting you said that it's a lesser of two evils, but still, that behaviour is still what you say, an evil. Do you think that other behaviour is acceptable?
You know, it's just it's how we've been for so long. You know, I often give as good as I get. You know, but he's just bigger and stronger than me. You know, yeah. If he shouts at me, I shout back. If he slams doors, I tell him not to slam doors, and you know.
And is that the kind of relationship that you want for your future and for your kids for you to be shouting and him to be shouting?
I really don't know what I want at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to get better, get out of this wheelchair, and then looking after my kids, and you know, hoping that he gets help and deals with this, because if he doesn't, I don't want him around the kids.
Well, you know, after all that you've been through, it's really touching for me to see that you still really care about him, that you want him to have help, to change. I mean, that's such a good thing, that you, even after all that scary stuff that's happened and the fear that you have, that you still actually care about him.
Part of it's a bit selfish, you know. I don't want him to, you know, end up in prison because of this, and you know, because then he's not going to see the kids, and I'm not going to see him, and you know, things are just going to be worse. It'd be so much easier if we just got help, because I don't want to have to deal with all the, well, I'm struggling to deal with my own stuff at the moment, you know, but I've got two kids to look after, and so it would be nice to have a husband that I'm not scared of.
Yeah, and that's something good to want, as a husband that you're not scared of.
Well, it wasn't always like that.
Okay.
You know.
So what's changed? What happened?
I don't know. I think it's this new job.
Yeah.
You know, he's not enjoying it, but that again, that doesn't give him an excuse to take it out on us and take it out on me and the kids. You know, he's only been in this job 3 months, and I've noticed that, you know, it's quite a high pressure job, and he's working longer hours, and you know. So over the last couple of months, he's been more angry, he's been more stressed, and you know, spending lots of time in the office because there's big contracts on the line, and you know, he's going to get paid well if these contracts come off, but in some cases that the company is hinging its future on these contracts, and you know, he's the guy that if he doesn't close the deal, then the company might fold.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure then, yeah. Well, look, we're drawing to the end of the session, and it sounds like you've been through so much, and I'm quite stunned at how soft your heart is, and how good that is, that you still care about him, that you'd like to see change. But I see that you are standing strong as well, and firm to protect yourself and your kids, which to me is such a good thing to see, because it's so easy, like you say, in those support groups that you've been to, for women to stay in that situation and continue to be hurt, and continue to allow your kids to be hurt, or the cycle to continue. So that's amazing that you've taken that stand. Yeah. How are you feeling as we're wrapping up this session?
I'm just feeling that, you know, I haven't really realised how much stress my husband's been under, and you know, I'm still in the back of my mind thinking, you know, maybe if I'd just done those dishes, then things would have been okay, you know. And so, you know, I'm in an okay place, you know. I just need some time.
Yeah. You know, it's natural to think that, hey, could I have changed this situation? But the reality is, that's not what happened, is it? And you're, from what I can see, you're coping the best way you can in this situation, doing what's best for your kids and for your health, and even for your husband's. Yeah.
Thank you. I just think I needed to hear someone say that, because, you know, Mom's just saying, you know, you should kick him to the curb and let him rot in jail, you know. But, you know, he's not a bad guy.
It's your decision to make how you go ahead with your life.
Yeah.
It's good that you're considering what you can do to bring safety and health to you, your kids, and even your husband in this situation. Is it okay if we meet this time next week? Does that work for you?
That works well.
Okay. Excellent. I'll help you out. Did you want a tea or a coffee before you go?
No, it's okay.